help me visualize how a company going green can make more money on it.
So let's think about 4 different levels of eco-advantage, we might call it.
Okay.
Advantage in the marketplace from environmental thinking. Number 1 is cost savings. When you have got energy costs that are relatively high in your business, anything you can do to be more efficient, to conserve energy, will cut costs, reduce pollution, and improve your competitive position.
Yes.
The same is true of any other resources. So if you improve your resource productivity, use less water, use less in the way of chemicals, you have less to buy, less to dispose of, less to pay for the management of. So there's real opportunities to reduce consumption of products that have a cost, and particularly products that have a cost when you buy them and a cost when you pay for their disposal, like any kind of toxic chemical.
Okay.
Second, this is a second big eco-advantage opportunity, is risk management. To the extent that you are paying attention to these issues, thoughtfully addressing environmental risks, you don't get caught out the way Mattel did with a whole line of products that become unsellable because they're not meeting environmental standards.
Terribly costly.
Huge cost. And one of the things we have found is that supply chain auditing is something that a lot of companies are not doing well enough.
Okay.
So they manage within the 4 corners of their own factory, their own facility, but they are not looking upstream at their supply chain and really looking hard at whether that's being managed well. And frankly, a number of companies are not thinking downstream about what the customer does with the product that they have sold them at the end of that product life. And in a world of extended producer responsibility, where the big companies, the big players, are increasingly expected to own and manage the environmental whole value chain, companies that are not looking at supply chain, not looking at end-of-life disposal, are at risk of being caught out. So I think risk management is the second area. And it doesn't mean that it won't be costly, but it means if you manage it better than the competition, you'll still be advantaged.
Okay.
Third opportunity is to drive revenues by bringing new products to bear that have an environmental dimension and respond to the customer's issues.
Okay.
They can be more energy efficient, so the customer prefers it. They can be more environmentally sensitive, so the customer
wants it, have them pay for it.
And they increasingly seem willing to pay for it.
Okay.
So, for example, we're seeing very rapid growth in organic food.
Yes.
The customer seems willing to pay for this. Organic wine. I can't imagine how that's becoming so popular, but it is. So we've got a whole world out there that seems ready to pay for green that wasn't there before. And finally, fourth eco-advantage opportunity is around branding. There are certain segments of the population that are very environmentally connected. They care a lot about these issues. And if you're trying to sell to those segments of the population, it helps a lot to have an environmental dimension to what people think about when they hear a company's name. So that's why you've got some very big players, not particularly necessarily green companies, but ones who are trying to become green because they want to sell to particular audiences. Coca-Cola, for example, done a lot on the environment because they're trying to sell to young people. And young people all over the world are much more environmentally focused and conscious.